Wednesday. It is Wednesday. It is May 27th, I believe, and I'm checking in to start the week. I've been at work both Monday and Tuesday. Both days did not allow themselves for me to vlog because they were super busy, and I'll talk about that in just a second. So I knew I wouldn't pick up the camera until today when things slowed down a little bit, and today actually started off pretty rough. I was supposed to check in much sooner, but I was running super late this morning. I was supposed to meet someone at 7:15. I didn't leave my house till 7:15. I got to school, realized, no, not even by the time, let me try that again. Before I got to school, I rushed downstairs knowing I'm running late, opened the refrigerator to grab my lunch and my iced coffee that I made last night. The only thing was I didn't make my iced coffee the night before, which meant I was gonna have no coffee to get me through the morning, which has become like a ritual, a security blanket. And I almost started crying, but I didn't have time to cry. So I hopped in the car, drove to work, got out of the car, realized not only did I not have iced coffee, I didn't even bring my hydro flask of water. So I was unprepared and flustered getting to school. And so I was meeting with the yearbook advisor at my school because we just finished the interview process, and I'll talk about that in a bit. And as we're working and I'm silently crying on the inside about my lack of water and coffee, one of my students walks in like an angel, floats in really, with my Starbucks order in her hand and said, I decided to get you a Starbucks today. And when I tell you, I almost shed a tear and just ugly cried, I don't even lie, because I just really needed it. So the day got off to a bumpy start, but the highlight of the day, as busy and hectic as it was, is I got a lot of compliments on this little necklace right here. And I was gonna share this with you earlier because if you are someone that's been around for a while, you know that I've been working with Ana Luisa now for a couple years. My camera ran out of memory. I think I was saying I'm one of their VIP members with Ana Luisa. And so I get the opportunity to share their new pieces with you and kind of spread the word about what they stand for in terms of jewelry making. So very quickly, they are a jewelry company that has a lot of price points. Like you can spend a small amount of money, you can become a little bit more extravagant and spend more, but more importantly, it's a sustainable company. So they really avoid just like waste and don't make these large batches of pieces that may end up going to waste because they don't necessarily sell them all. So they're really conscious in that way. They really want to reduce their carbon footprint, and Mother's Day is coming up. So I'm here to remind you of who Ana Luisa is and let you know they are having a great sale right now for Mother's Day, which is you buy one item, you get the second for 40% off. I personally have gotten 2 gifts for my mom on Mother's Day, and then my sister-in-law who's about to be a first-time mother. I'm not gonna show it to you or tell you what it is because I feel like they watch these sporadically, so I'm just gonna play it safe. And I have a lot of pieces myself that I've collected over the past couple years, like these earrings, which I always talk about are my absolute favorite, are from Ana Luisa, as well as this set. And so I got so many compliments on this today. Not just from adults, but I would say I got more compliments from students than adults. And this is probably the first piece of jewelry that I've had that's like, I guess this is an emerald, but I've never really ordered anything like this. And I ordered it because I needed some more green for my house color. And so I was like, oh, let me get this necklace. And today was the perfect day to wear it for the first time because we have to wear green on Wednesdays if you're in my house. So again, Ana Luisa, if you're looking for sustainability, if you're looking for a wide range of price points, if you're looking really for like gold, they have a lot of gold. They have some delicate pieces. They have some more bold pieces like these earrings, layering, rings, all of that. They really do have a lot to offer. Or if you're just looking for a gift for Mother's Day, now's the time to check it out. So make sure to check them out. I will leave a link in the description box, and I'll make sure to remind you before this week's vlog is up because Mother's Day is right around the corner. So there's that. And then more of what I've been doing the past couple of days. Monday was a minimum day. Then I had 2 meetings that were booked at the same time after school. One didn't happen because there were some tech issues. That was the one I really wanted to go to. It's the cultural proficiency training, but the host had a power outage, so she couldn't host it. So that's being rescheduled. And then I had to head over to a mandated, they just called it a transgender training that middle school teachers had to take, which I think is good. It just kind of talked about California law and how to handle certain situations and how to respond to students who may be dealing with gender identity issues, or students who may be mocking the process and what you should and should not say. And so that was about an hour and a half. And when that was done, I really needed to focus on making sure I was ready for leadership interviews, because that was the next day, which was Tuesday, which was yesterday. And those occurred right after school. And those lasted from 2:30 to 4:30. And so all day yesterday, me and the yearbook teacher were just making sure we had everything together. And everything was organized the way it needed to be, because we had over 100 applicants that we were going to be interviewing during that 2-hour block. And we had the help of all administration on campus, other supports on campus, like our school counselor, Taylor helped, one of our academic advisors helped, and then we each had about 5 to 6 student volunteers. Those were a great help. And so the kids were doing action-based, it was an action-based interview where they had different tasks they had to complete. And then one part of the interview was I pulled them along with one of the assistant principals and asked them a very basic question. Why do you think you'd be a good candidate for yearbook or leadership, 8th grade leadership? And this is the first year that we've done it jointly, yearbook and leadership at the same time. And both me and the yearbook teacher feel like this was the way to go. The system worked really well. And we have a lot of tools that we've used to make the application and decision-making process fair and easy. I'm gonna try and share that with you. It's just hard because there's student names all over the place. But I'll see what I can do. A lot of the first round of things, like the application process, that all came from the Castle training that I went to a couple years ago, and the teachers that did that particular session that I attended have been so great with helping me even 2 years after the fact, anytime I have a technical question. And then the yearbook teacher has been amazing with just creating rubrics, creating spreadsheets that tabulate points for everything. And so starting today, we've been starting to tabulate their points, and then when we're done, we'll have all the kids that have applied ranked by the most points accumulated to the least, and that's how we'll make our decision. So that is what I've been up to, but I just wanted to check in, say hi. I should be able to check in a little bit each day for the rest of the week, but again, the days are pretty redundant because we're still state testing. I am now state testing my switch class, so there's not a lot of new things going on, and I only have them for an hour, and we've been reading a lot of The Girl in the Blue Coat because we're trying to get through that. So that's it. I just wanted to say hi and check in. I am now getting ready to take Riley on a walk and come home, exercise, and cook, and get ready for another day tomorrow. So I think I'll see you tomorrow, Thursday. Hi, it's 3:19, it's Friday. And I'm actually vlogging in the classroom. I almost forgot, but here I am. So today was the last day of testing for me. I teach 8th grade, so my students do have to take the science test next week, but they do all of that with Taylor, who is my partner teacher, because she does math and science. And then there's a handful of kids that need to make up a test that they missed because they may have been absent, but that's something administration handles. So as far as I know, I am done with administering state test. And that's a blessing. And now when we come back to school on Monday, it will be May. And I haven't even looked at the calendar of things that have to occur in the month of May because I'm avoiding it, because I know there's a lot of things and it's like back to back to back. And one of those things, Taylor and I and another teacher are in charge of. It's the 8th grade picnic, and we're in charge of something that we've never seen before, and we haven't really started planning it. But the I don't know what technically is she, like the school secretary? I think the school secretary is what her title is helping with it quite a bit. So I'm really just here to say hello, share a bright moment of the day, and then try and show you as much as I can with what we use for leadership interviews and how that process worked, in case you're interested, and or that's something that you're in charge of. So the bright spot of the day, like, let's be honest, the last couple months of school are rough because everybody's tired. We are in that period where the kids are off, the teachers are exhausted, so we're all just kind of in survival mode. And behaviors are a little loose because kids think that they're not in school, although they are. But in one of my classes, I have a student who is autistic, and all year Taylor and I have said how great our class is with her. Like, all the kids, no matter what their personality type, how they function throughout the school day as an individual, everyone is really good and patient with this student. So we're in the middle of filming these documentaries, and groups are filming in different places, and then we're all having to be quiet while one group gets a clip filmed for the documentary. And so the group that the student that has autism is in was filming, and the student that is autistic is acting as the host to this documentary. And so she did her little once again, I just ran out of space on my computer. But anyway, she was filming her little part, and we were all watching and being quiet. And hi.
Are you in a meeting?
No. Oh. You can come in. I was vlogging. I don't even know what I was saying. That was one of the assistant principals. But I think what I really wanted to share as the positive is they are just so good with the student and encouraging her and making her feel comfortable and safe, and like reassuring her when she feels a little self-conscious or worried. And so it was just nice to watch them, even in this crazy time of the school year where 8th graders are swearing that they are grown, just be really like, what is the word I'm looking for? Like just taking care of a classmate of theirs, or being very like caring and nurturing towards her. So that's my bright spot. That's what I have to offer to you. Now into leadership. So I think I've mentioned some of this, but we just finished applications and interviews on Tuesdays. We have the list pretty finalized. We now just need to notify the kids next week. And this is my third time doing the application and interview process, but my first time doing it in conjunction with the teacher that does a yearbook. And I feel like every year it's just gotten refined and better. And of course the first 2 years it wasn't even what it was supposed to be because it was under COVID circumstances. But I think this year what we did works really well, and we know that we want to replicate it next year. So the first part of everything is just making the application process totally automated. So this is what I got from that conference. I don't remember if I showed this to you before, but the application is a Google form, and it asks them several questions like the basic information, prior experience, questions about their schedules, things they may be interested in, etc. And so they fill this out. You obviously provide them with the link, and I created a Google Classroom for all of this year, which was a good thing. And then once they fill out the form, it automatically pre-populates into this paper-based document with all their answers. And so this was a tutorial video that I had to watch to learn how to do this, and that was provided to me by the people that did this session when I did the conference, the Castle Conference 2 years ago, pre-COVID. So the stuff that I'm showing you today, I can't really share it with you because I don't own it, and I think they really want you to attend their sessions and not just have people share, so I'm not going to do that. So the students fill out the application, it pre-populates on this paper-based application. It also automatically sends them an email confirming that we got their application, sends their parent an email letting the parent know that their child applied, and letting their teachers know that they've been requested to fill out a recommendation for a student in particular. So then the teachers get this recommendation form sent to them. It's pretty basic. It only takes a couple of minutes. And then we get all of this information obviously kicked back to us through Google Sheets. And so that part is fantastic because it's all digital. I don't have to hold papers. I don't have to worry about any of that. The only time I print out those paper versions of the applications is when we're actually doing the interviews and we start scoring. So that's the first step. And then the second step is where the yearbook teacher came in and made the process even better. So the interviews have, for the past 2 years, been task-based. I changed what I did for this year from last year. And so this time around, and what I know that they're gonna do next year are these, I think it's a total of 4 tasks. So this year we had 100 applicants, so we had 100 7th graders on Tuesday approximately. Some kids didn't show up, doing these different rotations. So one rotation is they had to develop a spirit week, Spirit Week activities for College Week. Then they had to do promotional materials. This was really one rotation, and what we learned this year is that we need to make this 2 rotations. So one promotional material they needed to create was an Instagram post using Canva. The next one was they had to create a promotional video for our little newscast that 7th grade is in charge of. Then they had a photo and copy editing station, so that we can see, can they read directions, can they read copy, do they know how to look for good photos. And then one stop was their little elevator pitch, where we asked them to tell us in a minute or less what makes them a good candidate for either leadership or yearbook. Another thing that will change for next year is during the interview station, I was doing the interviews along with the assistant principal that just stopped by. I think I'm going to go ahead going forward and give them the interview question ahead of time. Maybe even give them a quick little video that shows some interview tips, because they were just all so nervous, and it's kind of hard to watch a child answer an interview question when you know they are supremely nervous. And I don't think there's any harm in letting them know ahead of time. And in fact, I think it helps you weed out kids that are really proactive about making sure they get things done and are being prepared, because you'll be able to know who watched the tutorial on how to successfully perform on an interview, and who was familiar with the question ahead of time based on their responses. So I know I'm going to change that for next year. It's a 2-hour time frame, so we did this from 2:30 to 4:30. I think next year we might have the kids, or see if teachers are okay with the kids being released about 15 minutes early, so we can get them checked in earlier, because we ran a little over. And so then that happens, the kids leave, and so for the past few days, the yearbook teacher and I have been scoring everything. And she took the response Google sheet, and she says it's a very easy thing to do. She found a YouTube video that allowed her to, let me show you the rubrics. She also made rubrics. Let me show you the rubrics first. So every station had a rubric, and we had volunteers. I think we had, it was me, the yearbook teacher, Taylor, 3 administrators, and 2 additional adults. I think we had 7 to 9 adults helping us. Each adult was responsible for one station the whole time. We had about 5 to 7 student volunteers that were just like runners, and that was very critical. But the yearbook teacher made these rubrics. You would score them on different categories depending on the station, and we used these scores to help us decide who was going to end up making it into one of the classes. But she was able to take, I can't show it to you, I can just show you that. She took the responses from the application. We weighted each category, like if they filled out the application correctly, they got so many points. Their teacher recommendations were valued at a much higher weight than like just completing the application itself. But basically everything they had to do in the application process was weighted based on how important we thought that was in determining whether or not a student was a good fit for yearbook or leadership. So like the teacher recommendations had a heavier weight than, say, them properly attaching their transcript. So she was able to format the form so that anytime we put numbers in those categories, that it would tabulate a point total overall for each applicant. And that was a life changer, because once we got all the scores in from the stations, everybody had a point value, and we just sorted so that we could see the highest point value to the lowest. And then we separated the kids that said, I want to do yearbook, I want to do leadership, and then sorted again the highest point value to the lowest. And then we just knew that we wanted a class of about 30 and just took the top 30 down. Any student who didn't have good recommendations at all, or we knew that there were some issues in previous years, they still got to interview, but we like marcated their name, I don't even know if that's a word, indicated next to their name that this was a red flag because X, Y, and Z. Like maybe they had suspensions or maybe major behavior issues or something like that. So it all worked. But there were like minor kinks that we need to fix for next year, because you just have to see sometimes whether or not something works. But it worked perfectly. This is what we need to do going forward, and I've been taking notes on the little things that we need to tweak here and there for next year, so that we're not like, what did we do and how did that work and what worked and what didn't. But that has been my life aside from state testing for the past couple of weeks. It's a relief to be done, and now with leadership, I want to have a parent night, and I need to ask my principal to look into whether or not having like a team building sleepover with the 2 classes is possible, to kind of, so that we can feel like a family before the school year starts. But yeah, so that's what I've been doing. And like I said, a lot of it I can't show you because it has student information, names everywhere, or they were state testing. And then aside from state testing in class, they've just been working on their documentaries. We've been reading The Girl in the Blue Coat, and that's really it. So I think this week's vlog really only includes 2 days. That was not my intention. That's just kind of how it went. But yeah, so I think I'm gonna just close it here. It's Friday. I'm gonna go home. I need to rest because I'm extremely tired, and just relax and get myself ready for the month of May. And speaking of the month of May, don't forget, I heard on the news this morning, like, I know Mother's Day is coming, but I didn't realize it's like a week away. Mother's Day is coming. It is a week away. Don't forget to check out Ana Luisa's Mother's Day sale. Buy one, get one 40% off. They have a couple of items that are specifically geared towards moms. But again, if you're just looking for something for yourself, this would be a perfect opportunity to take advantage of a great sale. You know that I love their pieces, and I'm sure you will as well. So yeah, with that, I'ma just head out, rest up. I hope that you guys are well, and if you are not well, please be well, and I will see you guys in the next vlog. See you soon.